NuView's Wednesday workshop. My name is Steve Maldonado, and I'm so excited to be back in the chair today for week 6 of NuView's Magic of Multifamily series. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. NuView is a passive IRA custodian. We are not fiduciaries, registered investment advisors, or broker-dealers, and cannot advise on tax advantages, etc. We custody 401ks, IRAs, and ESAs for the purpose of alternative asset investments. We're excited to be talking to Corneilous Cannon today. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you have 2 ways to submit them. You can register on the landing page for registration. You can submit the Q&As there, and they will be submitted directly to our production team, as well as through social media channels. If you're queuing in through YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., simply make a comment on the video or stream that you're watching, and it will be sent to our team as well. Don't forget that next week is the final episode in our Magic of Multifamily series, where we will be having all 5 speakers of our series back for a panel where we'll be discussing everything that's been covered thus far and a few additional items as well. Really exciting time to get all of the thought leaders in the same place, see what everybody has to think, and that will be presented by Brian Martinez. So queue in for that and register at the link provided. Without further ado, let me introduce Corneilous Cannon, the president of Shark Pool Capital and the host of the Shark Pool Apartment Investing event. Corneilous, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, man, how are you? How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. Again, thanks so much for joining us. Speaker week 6, like we said, last week, the best week. So thank you for joining us.
Indeed, last week, the best week. I like that one. Love it.
That's right.
All right.
So go ahead and take it away.
All right, outstanding. So here I'm slide. So today I want to talk to you about the secrets to success, the secrets of my success in investing in apartment buildings in simple steps that you can all can understand. But before we begin, I just want to congratulate you all for making a decision. You are at the right time, at the right place, the right time. I know many of y'all had different things to do, but this is the right moment. Now, my goal for this presentation is to help you save time and money when investing into apartment buildings. Now, I'm going to do this by 2 parts, right? One, I'm going to go over the strategy of what and why to do certain things. And also I'm going to go over the tactics, right? It's about how to do it, right? And how to do it and break it down to 2 G's, right? Now, I want to say my story started back when one day I just woke up, looked in the mirror, and I thought to myself, man, I really thought my life would be further along than what it is, right? At the time, I didn't like my job. My marriage wasn't going the way I thought it was going. And I felt like I wasn't being a parent that I wanted to be to my kids. And I feel like everything was just not going the way I thought it was going. So I tell people, I went to my 2 favorite G's. I went to God, and God sent me to Google. And I started Googling, just trying to figure out how to make, real money. How can I get the lifestyle that I see on TV and social media, the lifestyle I really want to work for, right? How can I really make the impact I want in life? And I didn't know exactly what I knew I was looking for, but I knew what I didn't want to do. I mean, I was done with the home party through phone calls, inviting people over, tricking them, trying to build my downline. I was done with putting out bandit signs, trying to wholesale home flip houses, and I was tired of trying to be a landlord, begging people to for money and trying to pay their rent. I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, and so it led me through my search. It led me through a 3-day workshop. Y'all probably went to 3 workshops, and it was basically like apartment investing, passive investing, apartment investing, right? And I went there with the idea to not buy anything. I said, listen, my wife, we're going to get all the information we need right now, take the information and go back to listen to all the other stuff we got going on in the background, right? All the stuff we got at home, we're going to apply that. And lo and behold, we ended up buying a course. And the course seemed very simple. It said to be successful in apartment investing, you need 3 simple steps, right? First, you need to find a good deal, right? Second of all, you need to make sure that the numbers work. The third step is you need to find the money, right? So I was so excited because it was like a simple roadmap to success. And I knew that I wanted to make more money so I can spend more time doing the things I love and help the people who I cared about. So I was willing to do it. So I was willing to follow footprint and go for it. So For weeks, even months, I'll talk to sellers, talk to brokers, trying to find the right deal. Then when I get the right deal, I will spend hours underwriting with spreadsheets, softwares, reports, trying to make sure the numbers works. Then I will go out and basically beg anybody I can for capital. Now it was like I would go into meetup groups, I would make a phone call, send out emails, trying to find somebody to please give me money to help me fund my deal. And a lot of people laugh at that because of it's kind of like saying that if you find a good deal, the money will follow. A lot of people teach that process, and sometimes, but however, the thing about it is when I did it, the money didn't follow. And what happened was I had to cancel contracts, brokers stopped answering my phone calls, and it seemed like I was almost like blacklisted. Like people like don't deal with that guy because he's just a wannabe investor. He just one of people trying to make it. And to be honest with you, it felt like a failure. It felt like a distress. I felt like I was doing everything right, but everything was going wrong. And I remember just sitting there in my distress, going back and forth of looking at what to do next, like what to do now. I tried the stuff, it didn't work, so what can I do now? And in that process, I remember one day I was late night, I was sitting there scrolling through Facebook, trying to numb the pain, sedate myself, like I just going through stuff, and I came across this post. And the post said, "Hey, I just came to the United States a couple of years ago, barely speaking English, and now we're closing on 3,000 unit portfolio." I'm like, man, who is this guy? Right. So then I clicked his profile and kind of see what he was doing, so forth. And it seemed like he was closing a new deal like every other month. I'm like, wow, this guy's doing something that I need to know about, right? So he had like a little link on there about saying, click, you want to have a phone call with me, part investing. And I remember hop on the phone with them. I'm excited about this phone call because I'm about to get the secrets of his success. Like I feel like he can tell me all the good stuff about how he's barely speaking English and closing, having like these portfolios over 3,000 apartment units in his portfolio, even more. And I remember the first time we had the phone call, I'm excited. I say, hey, and phone call ring. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? How are you doing? And he said everything. He said, so Corneilous, what do you do? And I'm ready to shine. I'm like this. Listen, I'm a real estate agent, so I'm good at finding properties. I brought this software, so I'm good at underwriting property. I underwrite all the properties very fast. I got this subscription site that I can get all the data that no one else can get. And matter of fact, I'm raising capital right now on this 42 unit deal that's actually in Tesla Arcana. And he said, huh, he wasn't impressed. I'm like, man, so what do you do? And he said, Cornelius, real estate is a team sport. You need to find something you enjoy, become good at that, and you partner with those who good at what they do. Now he said that it was like one of those perverted slaps. It was like I knew it, but I wasn't doing it. And if you it's thing like real estate is a team sport. It's about partnering with the right people. Like you don't need to have 5 Michael Jordans on the team. You don't need to have 5 Tom Brady on the team. You need to find your position and be good at what you be. Sometimes find something you enjoy, become good at that, and partner with those who are good at what they do. And I realized that I was operating more of a group opposed to a team effort. And when I made one of the shifts is that it actually helped me go further faster. I started creating more teams around me and doing more deals around and doing bigger and better deals. And that gave me more time to spend with my family, my wife and kids, so forth. We kind of take and really made the impact I wanted in life. And before it all started, before I started going my information about going to finding the great teammates, I really had to really kind of hone in down to find my personal hedgehog. Now this is kind of part we start getting to shifting to we took strategy to the tactical part, right? Finding your hedgehog. Now I get a concept from Jim Collins in the book called Good to Great. It's about how to find your own in the process, how to find a hedgehog. It's talking about how to find that sweet spot, right? Find what you do that you love and what you can be the best at, and you can and what people pay you for. And you kind of figure out this niche and you find out what you're great for. Cause like not everybody can be a great underwriter, not everybody can be a great property founder, not I can raise capital in this process. But you have to find what you're good at. So at this moment, it's kind of halfway point. I want to kind of do a recap before we move on, right? Because of I kind of went through that process, but let's go a quick assessment about what we learned so far, right? So first, take a assessment to where you currently at in your journey of part investing, right? Where you currently at, right? And you have to define what do you want, and also define what you don't want, because a lot of times the things is fueled by what you don't want. Is because I remember growing up, Tony Robbins, I'll say, is a gain of pleasure or the voice of pain. I know growing up, I was always it was easy for me to avoid making bad grades because I was scared of getting spanking and so forth growing up in South Georgia. So it actually helped me out tremendously. And also, he said, find something that you enjoy, right? Find someone who has doing what you're doing. Like it's not about reinventing the wheel, it's about modern success, right? Find somebody who actually ahead of you a little bit of time, because I know a lot of times we always think that, man, I wish I would have known this 10 years ago. Well, I know now. So you don't, right? So we don't have a time machine that I know of yet. They can go back in time. But the other is find people who like 10 years ahead of you, find out what they're doing in your position, and kind of fast track yourself from there. And also create a roadmap to get your success to get you there, right? Following a step-by-step roadmap, a foot plan to kind of take you step by step of how you get there, right? Then when you're lost, ask for guidance, right? So many times we try to, I know myself sometimes, even when driving, if I got Google on my map, I'm kind of doing things. So it's like, don't be afraid to ask for guidance. It's like a lot of stuff out there. It's information all over the world in your palm of your hand these days. It's our cell phone. And also find your personal hedgehog, because I realized that it's not really about what you know. It's not about who you know. It's about who knows you and what they know you for. And you gotta know yourself to find out what you're good at as well. Then when you get all that, you can find and start building your winning team. Okay, so that's how we part of the technical part. So now let's get into the more tactics, right? A lot of times people say, well, how do you find the good deals in apartment investing? Now, it's really two main ways. You can go directly to the seller, or you can go to the broker. So let's have to go back and let's explore those two different ways. Now, let's talk about going to the seller. Now, one of the ways that I found to go to find sellers is going through HUD.gov website, right? The HUD website have a lot of data out there, right? And you go to top key and type in multifamily. You go to multifamily, you have a search. If you will see at the bottom, it actually, some searches actually show you they have a list of properties for sale, multifamily and single family homes that the HUD is actually selling themselves. And you see, if you go here, you'll see they actually have a list of properties that you can choose from. Now they have multiple times of the year, so forth. So properties go fast. And you also see properties sold in the past. So you can see what properties sold in the past. You kind of give you an idea who the buyers are. Also see what listing currently is listed in the front end, right? So that's what you get directly from the seller. And they also have a list of, if you go to multifamily assistance Section 8 database, they have all the owner's information of who actually have contracts with Section 8 housing multifamily. So this is the thing about the time frame that they have, that it stay current, and that is always updated, right? So it means that when you get the database of the phone numbers, the email addresses, when they bought it and don't buy it, and this is actually data that you can get for free as well, right? You get directly from the seller. Now let's talk about brokers, right? Now one of the biggest sites out there is LoopNet. Now a lot of people go on LoopNet to find properties, but there's other ways to find properties beyond LoopNet. And one of the things I like doing is you go into LoopNet and you type in your criteria, like far as the area you're looking for, and the area you're looking for, the size, and so forth, in the map on LoopNet. You want to choose a property that you kind of choose, right? Now you got a couple options here. Now one of the things I like doing is contacting the broker directly, right? You can send a message right here directly to her, but also if you click on her profile, you can see what other properties she have listed, right? And also her company. So what I do is I see her company profile, and I found out her company page, what property that she has not even on LoopNet, and even from here you can look at what other brokers work with a company and figure out what property they have, hop on their list. And this is where you can get direct source from the brokers who actually have out there. If you don't know list, also you go to a new area, right? So there's two ways to find property. One from the seller directly, and the other one's actually from the brokers, how to get brokers as well. Now, second part of the about being successful in apartment investing is you have to figure out how to underwrite properties, how to make sure the numbers works, right? So do it by yourself, or you can outsource as well, right? Now, if you Google how to underwrite properties, multifamily properties, you will find a galore of courses, softwares, groups, people who actually you can hire them to do it for you. But one of the two main sources that I found was is click.ai and also Archer. Now both of these softwares kind of will help you do the underwriting for you. It says automatically, but I think that that's when you deal with underwriting, also you have to reverse engineer. It's so many things that you may think is important by its all factors, but it's like good input in, got good input out. So I say you have to really figure out what data you're putting in, and it's actually the data that you're looking for. So these are helpful, but to be mindful of, bad data in will get bad data out. So you have to be mindful. Some type of human preferences there, right? Or another way is to find other people who want to do it, right? Now, one of the things I like doing is going to Facebook, right? And Facebook is tons of Facebook groups out there, and just go into Facebook groups, type in multifamily investing, right? And you'll find hundreds of groups with people in there who's involved in multifamily investing. And I say join these groups and just put in posts about what's going on in those areas, or say, hey, I'm looking for somebody who's good at underwriting, and looking for somebody who's good at underwriting, who's it's their hedgehog personnel, right? And that way you can partner with them in order to actually help you get to your goals faster. Now, one of the main things people always talk about is how to raise capital. It's one of the things that people kind of go multiple ways about. Now, there's a lot of ways to doing it. There's a lot of ways of you can do it. Now, getting capital, you can use your own capital, or you can help out and use other people's capital. Now, the benefit of using both, because of you can go further faster by joining people, and the people who actually want to invest in your deal. Also, I'm pretty sure you want to invest in other people's deals as well, because of I think that ultimately we all want to get to a point where our money work for us and we're not working for money. I think that we all want to get to that point. It's just about how to get there. And so I'm talking about, so when doing your own money, you can use different things about how to use your own money, right? But I want to talk about, kind of go over briefly over how you use other people's money, other people's sources. Now, one of the things about other people's sources is really about the whole know, like, and trust factor, right? Before you get investing, it's tipping point of how do I know you enough, like you enough to trust you that I'm gonna get my money. So sometimes it's not really about return of capital, like how much money I can make, but it's about return of capital. It's likely that I'm getting my money back from you. So I mean, so you gotta be mindful of that. A lot of times when you're dealing with other people's capital, or you can go by bank, so forth, like saying a bank loan, so forth. Using bank loans, they have certain underwriting criteria because of they worry about, am I getting my money back from you? So just be mindful of that as you're looking for other ways of raising capital. Now, the only easy when you're dealing with people, sometimes it's easier to attract capital. That means that find out a lot of people who already want who already wanted to invest, figure out what they are investing in. Basically, you're just taking their order, figure out what they're investing in, how much they'll give you, and from that moment, you're just shopping with their money. And that's probably one of the best things that been helpful for me is raising capital, is that part there. Now, um, my goal for this brief presentation was to actually help you save time and money about when building apartment investing. When you're doing save time and money when you do your apartment investing, right? So I want to say, if you want to copy the slides, I want to reach out to me. You can reach me at Corneilous at multifamilydealroom.com. Now we had the process of the Shark Pool Capital, which is nothing but it's a show similar like to Shark Tank for part investing, where you can sit back and watch other deals being presented, and you can sit there and analyze the deals as they come through, and allows you to do it. Now we're doing this year, next year we're doing what's on the deal room, which has to be a lot greater. We're going with that brand, and that will allows you to sit back and invest from wherever you are in the world, and invest in these deals that have been presented on the Shark Pool Capital or on the Multifamily Deal Room platform. All right. So you got any questions so far?
I think he's done. All right, Cornelius. Well, thank you so much for kind of cueing us in. That was such a lively presentation. Learned a lot for sure. We've got a couple questions that came through the Q&A line. The first one, you talked about qualifying your deals, right, and doing some underwriting. Can you talk about, I guess, the key areas of focus, I guess, outside? You said AI is a great tool, right, to help cut down on some of your time when underwriting these deals, right? Can make your life easier, but it doesn't necessarily take into account some of those, I guess, human factors, right, that you said to take into consideration. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Because I think that once you think about, for example, right now, as you see how the market is changing, right? As far as demand and so forth, we may see a trend in increase of rising as far as demand. So when you're doing like prices high, so forth, demand is going up. So that means that it doesn't see the market as well. It doesn't hear about how it see a trend of going up going up, and also it doesn't really put in about maybe for example, down here in Texas, we had a Tesla dealership was being built in the country, and what happened, the area kind of blew up because of we see all this area come up. Now the data doesn't say that because of no one actually put that in. So those factors that the market can see the market shifting and things that is not really seen is not cannot really be told from the numbers directly.
Understood. Absolutely. And then of those numbers, I think which are the most important to kind of highlight or look at when assessing these deals?
I think you're looking for common trends because of as you see, because of a lot of times people get to see these, and also you want to see things that's irregular, right? You see like this hockey stick going up and so forth. You understand why? If you want to
Sure.
see, because it's always it's a balance that you want it's a balance of trying to increase income but also decrease expenses, and you try to figure out how can I find this balance of so forth. Like far as you may see higher payroll, higher electrical bills, higher insurance, so forth, higher tax and so forth. So you're trying to eliminate this, trying to make it go lower, but also trying to increase the income because of, and like also not everybody in not every area are the people are not accustomed to certain amenities. Like, can we do valet trash? Can we do a pet fee? Can we do and like saying even like seeing like, oh, the income is high because of they have a lot of delinquent late fees. So I mean, so those can see as it looks great, but also is it really great?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that point. And then you also talked about, finding sellers, finding brokers, right? And actually sourcing your deals through HUD, right? The Housing and Urban Development website, and a couple other resources, Google, LoopNet, et cetera. Can you kind of again expand where have been your biggest successes with those relationships? It's kind of a backdoor strategy that you presented there, and I think that it's a unique one that many people may not have previously thought of. So has that been, where the majority of your success has come from when finding these deals, or are you, more so networking and finding these through, friends and family?
I think majority of the deals. So the thing about the majority of the deals have been doing is really of networking, of getting
Mhm.
in these groups, and getting these circles, these circles, because deals are done because of usually deals are done with the capital raising part is done through the security system, right? 501(c)(b, 501(c)(c). So a lot of times deals are done behind closed door because legally they can't tell majority of the people. So like if you don't know about these deals, you can't be really legally be involved in the deals. So it's like being in these circles that of multifamily events, being about being with, it's like I say, it's not about what you know, it's not about who knows about who knows you, but they know you for it. But people need to know that you're in the market of buying apartment buildings. Like
Sure.
so as that starts spreading, the word starts spreading around. So I think that having that closed door atmosphere, but also even brokers understand how to connect each other people, because they say that, hey, he actually can close deals, he actually have a network, and he actually can actually perform on what he say he is. So I think that just really being out there, yes. So both of them have been useful, meeting brokers, but also getting involved in these communities and associations that actually where people actually doing deals on a regular basis. It's being in the right environment has been one of my success.
Awesome. And then another question that came in was regarding interest rates, and your opinion on how the high interest rates will affect the availability of these deals, right? And yeah, so if you could speak on that.
I think that the thing with interest rate and the thing about real estate as far as trading sources, I think that it's still going to happen, but you're going to do it at a different price. I think because one, people still gonna have to buy the real estate. The supply of people still moving. People still moving. The trends of housing is on like a 30-year going slope downward. So I mean, so people and people are still moving around, and you see development is still going up. So I think that it's going to just be a shift in the market. So I think that you have to. I think multifamily is still a great asset to be in, even with the interest rate, because of. I think that it's going to the way that the money is going to flow is just going to shift. I really don't think I really don't see a huge. I think that it's just going to be adjustment of anything. It's like this is when you really fine tune your skill set, because of you get better in the crunch time.
Sure. And bear with me one second, Cornelius. We're getting some additional questions come in.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see. It says, without experience in acquiring large multifamilies or apartments, what would you recommend to improve one's credibility?
I think that when you think about investing, I think of it is in three categories. You have your cash influx, your cash flow, and your cash appreciation. I think anytime you have this type of thing, your cash influx. This is when you do one time and you gotta do it all over again. It's like your one hitter quitters, like your job, when you feed, you eat. I put syndications in this category here. Now, my cash flow, I look for stuff that I do long term, like long term loans, stuff that I can buy, refinance, and keep for myself long term. And cash appreciation is just that when things go up in value, take the equity out and buy more cash flow activities. Now, if you don't have experience, I think that you should find something that you're good at, find a team, and see how you can add value to that team. In that way that you can branch off because like example, a lot of people, a lot of majority of right now are doing cash inflows. A lot of people doing syndications is number long-term flips, 3 to 5 year flips.
Sure.
So I think that find a skill set that you can enjoy, and also partner with this team, get experience, so forth. Then you can branch out and build your own team. But I think that find a team successful, figure out how you can add value to them, and that way that you can join piggyback your success. And also, it's a great learning experience as well because of you don't want to do everything on your own.
Fantastic. And then what about banks? Banks to work with, any resource for finding, lenders for these deals as well. I know you mentioned, borrowing other people's money. Obviously, NuView is a passive IRA custodian, which allows you to invest in these deals through your IRA, 401k, ESA, and HSA. So for those interested, of course, reach out to NuView to find out more about how to do that. But regardless, banks, right, conventional loans, non-recourse, et cetera. What are some of good resources to
I think
approach for those?
I think when you talk about banks, I think the best banks I found is the local banks,
Sure.
the people who actually have invested interest in the community. Well, I guess they all have invested interest in the community, but not none. But try and go into the local banks and seeing the local to where the property is located. So
Sure.
many times you get favorable rates because of they have incentive interest in you performing well. And that's been a very great asset as well. Finding those sources opposed to trying to go to the big boys.
All right. Fantastic. Well, I don't see any more questions trickling in through social media. But Cornelius, again, it's been such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for speaking. And we're looking forward to seeing you back on next week for our Magic of Multifamily series panel.
Outstanding, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Cornelius.
All right.
And for our viewers, don't forget, again, this is week 6 of our Magic of Multifamily series. We'll be back again for week 7 just to recap and do a panel. If you've missed any of the episodes in our series, go to our YouTube channel, Facebook, or LinkedIn and catch up there. Our first episode is all about investing through your self-directed IRA, the power of the tax advantage, and what a powerful vehicle it is. So if you are interested in learning more about how to invest through your self-directed IRA, 401k, go ahead and watch that video, and also reach out to us here at NuView Trust. Register for our workshop series next week. If you're a syndicator and want to collaborate, we are the place to be. We help syndicators and sponsors raise all of their capital through retirement accounts, 401ks, et cetera, and we can help you as well. So if you are interested in raising capital through self-directed IRAs, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to speak with you. Syndication at NuViewTrust.com. And stay up to date, again, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And again, we'll see you next week.